Welcome to the Killing Podcast, Season 1, Episode 13.
Yeah, this is it.
Season finale.
Season finale.
Orpheus Descending.
Yeah, so
We're not talking about his testes.
Who calls those Orpheus?
I'm not. I'm just saying maybe he has a name for his junk.
Okay, his junk. Orpheus's junk.
He's finally descending.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, this is going to be a 7-hour podcast talking about this amazing, chock full of stuff episode.
I thought you meant just talking about
and
testes.
Testes,
Okay.
yes. So
I'm getting testy.
Let's jump into this one. So the way we left it is Sarah was in Darren's place.
Apartment.
And she had figured out that he was Orpheus.
Yes. And so she confronts him about his name choice.
Yes. And he explains that Orpheus is a Greek poet.
Now, at this point, are you thinking he killed Rosie?
At this point?
Yeah.
Boy, it's a good question.
We answer it.
Well,
Answer the questions here.
They're sure pointing us in that direction. They're trying to make us think that he did. I'm really not convinced.
I wrote in my notes.
Yeah.
I don't think he killed Rosie.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't write anything like that, but I as we were seeing this scene unfold, even though they made him menacing, they made it seem like, he's sketchy.
Oh, yeah. I don't doubt that he's sketchy in some way, but I don't think he murdered her.
I still go back to the whole thing at the very beginning when it showed him out at the cemetery and all the stuff going on there, and I'm like, it doesn't add up that he's the killer. Well,
and what I
it adds up that there's something going on.
I think he was asking that girl because he's obsessing about his wife's death.
Right.
When he said, hey,
right, have you ever thought what it would be like to be drowned?
Yeah, I think that he...
When she said he's kind of sad.
Yeah, I think he's just obsessing about her and trying to process her death.
Yes.
Still. And I think that it's a weird question and it would make anyone feel unsettled. But in the context, but if you knew his story and in the context of his story,
it would still make you feel weird.
No, but it makes sense that he's everybody processes death differently, and I think that if I knew him and I knew the story, if he said that to me, I would just be like, no, I mean, it's uncomfortable. I don't want to have to answer a question. Right. I don't like to think about it, but I can understand his preoccupation.
Sure, I can understand that. Although this is a call girl, and him saying this, I don't think she's going to go that deep and think about all that. Do you?
Because she's not all that.
She's not all that. She may ask about the descending testicle, though. And dead silence.
So, Sarah runs out of the building.
Yeah. She leaves Darren standing there because she thinks she's standing in the room with a killer, and she gets all tough there, too.
It was scary.
It was scary, but she gets all tough, like, you're going down, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good.
And so Holder's waiting for her.
Yeah, well, he shows up, and she's all right.
Because she's all that.
She's all that. But you're kind of stuck on that. Really? Chips.
So she wants to go look at the campaign car, and she wants gas records and all that. Yeah. And
right. When she says, I want to break his alibi.
Yeah.
There's something here. We're going to break this. Sarah says that he switched to the campaign car because it had tinted windows.
Okay.
So, he was trying to hide.
Okay.
And
that was her theory.
And she's like, this is how I'm going to solve this. This is how I'm going to figure this one out. Because now I understand why he was in this campaign car. Why that car was used. Mm-hmm. And that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, what doesn't make sense, once again, is I still don't get that it's Darren. But that idea of why the campaign car is the one involved in this makes a lot of sense.
It does make sense.
Why somebody has access to it, I still don't know.
They say that they said the fuel gauge is almost full.
Right.
So now that's going to...
Oh, and that's important later.
That's going to play into things.
That's important.
Okay, so now this next scene when Stan gets out of prison.
Right.
Were you shocked that Terry is the one who got him out?
Well, we knew that in the last episode. Because remember, we were shocked because up to that point we thought it was Mitch, and then the very last thing that we said was it's Terry that let him out.
Okay. I didn't remember that, and so I wrote, Terry got Stan out with exclamation points.
We knew it at the very last second.
Well, we
in the last one
is, kind of the Queen's we, because I didn't really...
Oh, yes, my queen.
I didn't actually no, as in you'd be the queen.
So Stan, Terry's the one driving him. And
she drops him at home.
And Stan doesn't want to go inside.
Yeah.
Justifiably. And Terry drives off. And he's like, Mitch is going to freak.
Right.
He
doesn't go. He sees her up in the window.
Right. And she sees him, too.
And then he just gets in his truck and drives away.
Yeah, he's not going to have that confrontation. Even though he should. He should. But you know what? She's accusing him. She is being horrible.
Okay, but the big bad dummy? The big stupid dummy?
Who's the big stupid dummy?
Stan. All he had to do several episodes ago was say, I bought us a house.
Right. No. Well, it's the same thing going on with Darren right now, where whatever his story is, he just needs to say it. They just... Bennett. They just need to
is there something in the water that
it's all the rain.
Given these people brain damage, so they don't understand it's the rain.
No, you know what it is?
Blame it on the rain.
I'm
totally blaming it on the rain. Is that Milli Vanilli? I'm just going to keep interrupting you. Who did Blame It on the Rain?
Oh, I hear you said it was?
Milli Vanilli.
Milli Vanilli. Yes.
Milli Vanilli?
You said Milli Vanilli. It's Milli Vanilli.
I have a little sinus thing. Milli Vanilli. Yeah. Like vanilla.
Vanilli. Milli Vanilli.
Milla Vanilla.
Yeah.
Oh, Magilla Gorilla. That is even Magilla Gorilla. You want to sing the song for a second?
No.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about Milli Vanilli, though.
Was it who did Blame It on the Rain?
Yes, it was Milli Vanilli that did Blame It on the Rain. Well, it was somebody did it, and they took credit for it.
And they lip-synced.
Bum, ba-dum, bum. Yep, that was a crime. I was going to say that it wasn't Milli Vanilli that mesmerized them. It was Sarah's sweater.
Oh.
Which could have caused brain damage. Was she wearing
another unfortunate sweater?
It could have caused brain damage. The combination of the rain and her sweater is like a psychotropic drug.
And then it makes them not have communication skills. Because none of... although then there wouldn't be a story.
I can think of plenty of people that have this problem. Maybe they watched The Killing... And her sweater and the combination of rain has caused them to lose the ability to communicate, which apparently is affecting me right now.
It is.
I'm having trouble getting the words out. Are we even to the break yet?
Let the words out.
We're not even to the break yet. Okay, so Stan gets in his truck.
We established that.
And he drives off, and Mitch is standing there watching through the window.
Most likely giving him a giant finger.
Most likely. That's too much communication. She would be...
That's true. Yeah. That would indicate in some way she was unhappy or upset.
Right. So then we're back to Sarah, and she finds the gas records.
Yeah. And now...
clearly discovers someone has put gas in the car.
Well, Sarah and Holder now, they know that the gas tank was filled that night.
Right. That night.
That specific night.
Yes.
Not just that they filled it afterwards, like today or yesterday.
Right.
But that specific night.
I love this because we're starting to get these deeper clues.
Yes.
We're getting beyond the surface stuff and the stuff that's, we're assuming is happening. We're starting to see this and go, yeah, you've got to figure out what happened here in order to solve the next piece of this puzzle. Mm-hmm. And it's day 13, episode 13, day 13. I love that. Is that going to continue in season 2? Are they going to say... Well, there won't be episode 14, day 14.
Oh, you're in so much trouble.
Will it be episode 1, day 14? Am I going to have a big chart out to figure this out? I think so.
Let the chart
No, don't let the chart out.
Okay, so they start trying to get records, etc., for gas stations in the area.
Yes. They're trying to piece the story together.
Yes.
Where did the person get the gas that would be enough gas to keep that tank full by the time they got it back or got it to where Rosie was dead?
Yeah. So Stan wakes up in his truck.
Yes.
Because
and this is very sad.
The moron didn't go home.
No, but this is very sad. He didn't go home because he knew that was going to be torture, but instead he goes and tortures himself by going to Rosie's grave. That was really difficult to see for me.
I didn't notice.
That was what he was doing. I don't know. He was in Rosie's grave. That's what he was doing.
Did it say it?
Yes. Okay. And it was awful.
Then I probably just blocked it out.
You probably did.
And Mitch is at home looking at...
It was the sweater.
It was. Mitch is at home looking at photo albums, and her dad is there.
Right. And it's all pictures of herself. Because that's where Rosie got it. Because Rosie always had pictures of herself, and now Mitch has pictures of herself.
So the narcissism doesn't fall far from the tree?
That's right.
Is that what you're saying?
That's right. But it was all pictures of her as a little girl.
Of Mitch.
Of Mitch. It was her and Terry.
Why?
I don't know. She's looking at pictures of her and Terry as little girls, probably like associating like, what if my life was cut here? What, like she's just going over her life, and her dad walks in. I don't know why. Does every moment of this woman's life have to be looking at pictures of Rosie?
I would think so.
She was looking at pictures of herself, just glancing through them because, why? Because they were in Rosie's room, and it was Rosie's memories of her that she was looking at. So it's kind of ties in. Okay. Yeah. All right.
The world according to Rob.
Yes. I'm faintly hearing Milli Vanilli in my head, right?
Holder says the odometer isn't adding up. There are 100 miles missing.
Right. He said there's a total of 120 miles on the car. And he figures out that the casino and back is only a 10-mile round trip. So...
Where'd these other 100 miles come
in? Yeah,
from?
why are there an extra 100 miles on there? Mm-hmm. And, I'm sure that's going to lead to other gas stations or other theories on what happened here. That doesn't add up, though. And we've already seen her take the ferry out to the casino. Why would there be anything beyond those? Because you take the car in the ferry to the casino and then ferry it back. Mm-hmm. What would you do? Like just go back and forth a lot?
No, because it was 100 extra miles that night.
That's weird. Okay.
Okay, so Darren is celebrating the reopening of the Seattle All-Stars.
Right.
The storyline could end.
This is where he takes the shot and he oh no, that was the other episode.
Yeah.
But now he's got the basketball. This is the basketball that got my campaign back on track.
So Sarah's getting warned not to screw up the investigation. It will get very messy if they expose a politician and they're wrong.
Right.
Wrong, not right.
Correct.
Yes. Any thoughts on that scene? No, you have nothing to say for yourself. Okay. These are kind of quick. These are like one lines.
Here's what I said here. Gwen is upset about Darren and Rosie. He says it stopped when he started with her. So Gwen must have confronted him here. I don't remember her confronting him.
Oh, that going to these call girls or whatever?
No. We got to fix this.
Say it again.
We got to fix this.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let me say this again.
Okay.
So Gwen is upset with Darren or about Darren and Rosie. Okay. And he has claimed that everything stopped when he started with Gwen. Now the implication here was that it stopped, that something with Rosie stopped,
or just affairs,
or whatever it is. But he's saying everything stopped when I started with you. Right. So what does that mean? Does it mean Rosie? Does it mean call girls?
Both Soleil.
Yeah. What does it mean?
Yeah.
So we're going to find out.
But I put on here, Gwen exposed Darren's affairs with a question mark.
Right. It's that same thing. It's that same thing. It's like, is it affairs? Is it...
But is she the one who told the press? Is she the one that told the police?
Yeah.
Right. But not yet.
Okay.
I'm saying I was questioning.
Oh, you were questioning it. Okay. All right.
That's why you didn't write it. But
I got you.
I was questioning that. Is she mad enough that she's the one who exposed him?
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So Jack is with his dad.
Okay.
So that's interesting.
Right.
Little aside.
Yeah. After that other scene where she was like adamant that absolutely not. He hasn't been in your life. He's out of here. I'm not keeping you from seeing him, but we're not getting involved with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are.
They are.
Yeah.
She lets Jack see him, and she's actually okay to him in this. Kind of interesting that she lets this whole thing happen. Holder shows up and shows her the paper with the details of Richmond's affairs. Mm-hmm. This is where we figure it out. That's what was in the packet that Adams gave to Gwen.
Yeah.
So now we know Gwen leaked it. So when you were saying that in that earlier scene, I was kind of confusing the two scenes because they were quick. It was all kind of happening at once.
Yeah, these are all just quick.
But it was, this whole episode was a lot of quick stuff. But that's where we have like 18 pages of notes here. But that's where we figured that out because I didn't know what he was giving her in that packet. Mm. I thought it might be something about this whole Rosie thing, like maybe the car records or something, which was weird. But I couldn't figure out what Adam's tie was.
I figured he was exposing Darren
for something,
for affairs or something. Yeah.
Well, there it is.
Yeah.
Now we know.
And then, there it is.
And it's weird because all the girls in those pictures all have dark hair. They all kind of look the same. Yes. They all kind of look like Rosie,
but they don't look like Gwen.
No, they don't look like Gwen. So that was an interesting little thing that stood out.
Yeah.
Right there. Now, is he saying...
And his wife. Did his wife have dark hair?
Yes. When they showed Lily before, she had dark hair. She looked just like them. Now, that's another thing that's interesting. If we go back when he was telling Gwen that it all stopped when he was with her, when he started with her, was that like... Is that a turning point for him? Or is he just saying that? We don't know the time frame on all these affairs. Right. We don't know what was going on. And maybe that all stopped, and then he started up with Rosie, and she didn't know about it, but she saw that video of him with Rosie. My head is spinning. Okay, let's keep going.
Well, so they find one of the women, his former campaign advisor, and they question her.
Right.
And she finally says she left because it hurt too much to stay.
Right. And she's with her family there at the park and everything, and she's just like, he was a great guy, and he was, this beautiful person, and I had to leave because it hurt too much. And this is another case where I'm watching that, I'm like,
you could read a lot in.
They're assuming he's a monster, and I don't know if he's a monster.
Yeah, it hurt too much to stay because
and are these affairs, or is it...
Yeah, he was cheating on me, or, it
doesn't sound like
no,
that.
of course not, no. And so...
he could have relationships.
I think it was because he was too emo, and it hurt too much to stay, because she had feels when she was around.
Those are emotions that are so strong.
Yeah, she just had too many feels.
Too many feels.
In her relationship with Darren.
He was emo Darren.
Yeah.
He started combing his hair to the side, put black eyeliner on, listening to The Cure.
And he'd just sit in the corner of the floor, and she had too many feels about it. That's what I think she means.
I think you might be right.
So Stan is...
Give that man a podcast. Let's get him to talk about that.
So Stan is at the hospital.
Oh, wait a minute!
What, you have something important?
Yes, you missed something before we meet the woman at the park.
Yeah?
They start talking about... Holder actually points out that all the women have dark hair. I had a line written down just randomly in my stuff here.
I'm ready for you.
He says, hey, look, all the girls have that same, dark hair. They're all brunettes. And Sarah says, he goes, he must have had a thing for brunettes. And Sarah says, and a thing for drowning them.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Cold.
That's a great line.
So Sarah is fully invested in the fact that Darren did this.
Yeah.
Even though we're not.
We're not. Sure. We're totally not. So Stan is at the hospital, and he's looking at Bennett. And why are you laughing at Bennett?
I can't help but laugh at that line. It's so awful.
Yeah. He goes to leave, and he sees Bennett's wife trying to get a treat out of the vending machine.
Right.
And he helps her. She starts crying.
Right.
She doesn't know it's him.
And he doesn't know it's her.
Oh, yes, he does.
No, he doesn't. Absolutely not.
Come on.
Absolutely not. He doesn't know it's her. He's had no contact with her. She doesn't say, my husband's in there. I'm thinking he's thinking it has something to do with the baby or something. He does not know that's her.
Come on.
Absolutely not. This is just one of those...
I thought he knew.
This is like that movie Serendipity, only this is good. It just kind of happens. Yeah. They just kind of cross in the night, and no possible way does he know. And I'll tell you why. He is feeling remorse over this. He feels terrible over this. If he knew that was her, he is not afraid to take his punishment. He would have said it to her.
Mm.
He would have said, even if he didn't tell her what it was, he would have said, I am deeply sorry for what's going on.
Well, instead...
Just know that. But he doesn't.
Yeah, I think you're right. I agree with you on that. He says that babies are the greatest gift you can have. And she asks him how many he has, and he stumbles.
Right.
But he ends up saying 3, which is he should.
Yeah. Well, it's a hard question, though. How many do you have? Right
3.
Now, 2 living and 1 not.
No, but she wasn't asking that. How many babies have you had?
But he was choking on it. I can get that.
Oh, I am just going to punch you.
Oh my gosh!
In the throat. So.
Can't make my voice sound worse tonight.
So he stumbles, but he says 3. And she says, he must be a great dad. And seriously, she has no idea who he is.
Right.
And she'd be freaking right now if...
Although in a lot of ways, she's as guilty as he is because she drove them to Bennett, which lit the match that made Mitch send Stan out there. If she hadn't started the whole thing of doubting her husband and everything, this wouldn't have happened.
No. If Bennett had been a big boy and just said, I didn't do anything, here's what I did, I'm trying to help somebody.
Right, Bennett needed to use
my gosh, his big boy words.
Yeah.
Talk about testes needing to descend.
Talk about that
Bennett
sweater
needed
again.
his descending also, not just Orpheus.
Right.
So Mitch is at the beach watching Terry with her kids, and they're flying kites. And I thought this was a strange scene. At the time, I was like, why isn't she going out there and getting involved? Or she's just watching them, and then she just left. Right. And
she's disconnecting.
But later, we know why.
Right. But she's disconnecting.
Yeah.
And, it's interesting. Those kids really love to fly kites. But they don't seem to be real good at it. Like, they kind of go out there and you never see it really take off. They just kind of like playing with it. Because when they were out there with Stan, it was the same kind of thing. And it's like, you guys really like kites, but you're not really kite flyers.
You like kites, but you're not so good at it.
No, I'm not. I almost cut my finger off using it.
And you got it stuck in the tree.
I had one fly away. I'm like Charlie Brown.
So I wouldn't really, you might want to take the plank out of your own eye there.
Oh, well.
So Sarah questions the
Hold on, I'm trying to get the plank out. Well, I meant I'll get the one out of your butt.
Are you planking? Yeah, right.
Oh, planking.
Sarah questions the gas stations with Holder. So they go around and they're going to the various gas stations. And they argue because he doesn't drop what he's doing to do what she asked him to do. Yeah. Right. She just treats him like a little puppy. Right. And he says, why don't you focus your beady little eyes on driving? I love him. I love it.
That was excellent.
And, okay, wait. So then my favorite, here's another one. So he says the math isn't adding up. And Sarah tells him, you trying to do math is like a dog wearing a hat.
But he doesn't! Which means there's hope.
He's the one who figured it all out. She didn't figure out there was 100 miles missing.
That dogs can wear hats.
I think dogs pull off hats.
When have you ever seen a dog in a hat?
I probably have on Pinterest.
Oh, probably.
But I think that...
I've seen him in Yoda costumes.
That's rocks.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah. But I think that he is the reason that they have figured out about the 100 miles on it. Sarah hasn't done any math.
No. And math has saved the day.
And who was responsible for that math? Holder.
Mr. Math.
So I just thought that was hysterical. You trying to do math is like a dog wearing a hat.
Excellent.
So funny.
So now we're back.
Oh, we're back to this dang storyline.
The Darren thing. Well, you know what? This one, it's not so bad. I mean, I'm tired of it, but it's not as bad. That one episode was just terrible with it.
But we're getting to the season finale, so maybe he won't be in season 2.
Something's coming to a head here. It's obvious. So Darren's former, I just wrote
campaign
former
manager. Oh, that's great. His foreign blank, whatever you said.
Former. She wasn't foreign.
Gwen comes in to find the former campaign manager.
Right, who is the same one that he had the affair with.
Right.
Okay.
The one from earlier in the episode. Yeah.
And they talk to each other, and they're definitely catty. So Gwen knows clearly because of the article. She may have even known before that. Mm-hmm. And this girl knows Gwen is the new squeeze.
Well, and they have a little bit of a pissing contest because Gwen says his former indiscretions are not relevant to this case. And the woman says, former?
Yeah, right.
And Gwen asks her to leave. You know, she is clearly not wanting to believe that this behavior is continuing. She thinks that the day he met her, everything changed because she's the one who can replace his wife.
Right.
Yeah, and apparently not
right.
the case.
Right.
So she's.
Uh-oh.
I have to be able to read my writing. She's something. Oh, that Gwen should know by now that you can't compete with a dead woman. Oh, she says. Okay, we'll start that over. So Gwen asks her to leave, and as the woman's walking out, she says to Gwen, "You should know by now that you can't compete with a dead woman."
Oh, and that wasn't a threat.
No, it's a
or a promise.
That
fact. Was just a fact.
A factoid. She was just offering up a little factoid on her way out.
That was kind of her. And then the music played. The more you know.
Exactly. So Sarah,
I did not do a very good job with it.
You did not at all.
Everyone gets it.
Sarah and Holder asked the gas station owner at this one particular gas station if he saw a black car on that night, and he said yes. Now, I can't remember what I ate for breakfast, but this guy can remember weeks before
you know what?
On a
it's
Friday.
Because it was the middle of the night, and if you don't have that many cars going through there, you're going to remember like a big black sedan going.
Well, and it was probably a fancy car,
but he says the reason he remembers is he says there was a girl screaming.
Yeah, he said...
And then he never saw the girl.
He said the guy was in a hurry, probably because of the girl screaming. Oh, yeah, hello.
Yeah. Really? And you didn't call the cops. You didn't do anything. This guy he's a piece of work.
And he said 3 miles north of here is Discovery Park. She got out and ran when he stopped for gas.
Right.
And so they're figuring, okay, that's Discovery Park.
Right.
Only 3 miles. Okay, so she very well could have gotten out of the car and run.
Well, yeah, and Sarah points out that the screaming might have been from her out back, not at the pumps. That's what she says there.
Or how do we know Darren doesn't scream like a girl? They haven't descended yet, so maybe he screams like a little girl. But
right.
Yeah, so she ran.
Right.
And
Sarah goes out the back door when she says this, and she's looking, and there's this fence there, and there's a big hole in the fence.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where Holder says, that's Discovery Park. It's 3 miles north, right there. That's where the whole thing
Once again, thank you, Holder.
Yes.
For having the important tidbits of information in order
There's little factoids.
In order to propel the case.
And
because
he says, the more your mom knows.
Yeah, your mom's. If Sarah had to do this, she's not coming up with any of these things.
Yo, Sarah, why don't you point your beady little eyes 3 miles north?
Focus your beady little eyes onto that fence.
So now they call in the dogs, and they've got dogs and cops.
Were they in hats?
They're just searching the area. They were. And we're right back to, once again, tying it back to that first episode when we saw them out in the field.
Exactly.
And the dogs were searching. And
yep.
It's got that same feel. And Sarah's doing that thing where she's...
Yeah, she does the
she's focused.
Hyper-focus.
Right. And she says that whatever happened here, she says she was hunted.
Yeah.
She was hunted
so scary.
Right here. And that it might have taken all night. So we're starting to, we were getting a time frame before, but now all of a sudden, this part of it, from the time they were at the gas station till she was killed, we could be talking hours.
Yeah, she could have been tortured for 5 or 6 hours.
Well, tortured or just tortured by running and being so
that's
scared.
That's being tortured. What do you think I mean?
Well, I meant
traumatized.
Traumatized, yeah. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, very
I mean, to me, that was something that I hadn't really put that together. I had said before, if you go back and listen to some of the podcasts, I did say she might have been hunted, but I didn't start putting in time frames. I thought that the hunting may have been, I don't know, like something a little more limited. But now this could be hours out there. Oh, that's terrifying.
So Jamie walks in, and Gwen says, "Go ahead and gloat."
Right.
He commands her on her job. Commends.
Right, and he says...
I said commands. He commends her on,
on
her job.
That he respects her.
Yeah. And he tries to make her feel better, but she's not having it.
Yeah, and then he says, Darren is a complicated guy. You know what, Jamie, you are awesome at consoling a girl who's freaking out.
No, and it's not going to happen. She knows he's not she knows that,
Yeah.
That by complicated you mean he's cheating on you.
Yeah, by complicated he's a dirtball.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot there, Jamie. And obviously you know something.
So she goes home and says she'll be back for the rally.
Right. So Belko's back at the garage and he's just gathering his stuff up. Mm-hmm. And Terry comes in.
Yeah.
And Terry tells him that Mitch didn't mean it.
She tells him to stay.
Yeah, Mitch didn't mean to fire you. You need to stay. She says that he's part of the family. Now, remember, they had that blow-up.
Well, she apologizes for what she said at the wake. He is family. And he says, family? What family? Look around. Everyone's gone.
Yeah, says there's no family here anymore.
His stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and all he's got the crazy alcoholic
mom.
He's porn star at home.
Right. He's unstable. This is not good, what's going on here. So Terry was trying to make amends, but there is no way to make amends with this guy. So there we go. Jamie and Darren are now sitting together and they're drinking scotch.
Well, they're celebrating.
They are celebrating. That's exactly what I wrote.
Rock on.
And Jamie says that Gwen is fine. Mm-hmm. So he's brushing it off like, oh, yeah, she's fine. She'll be all right. And Darren's feeling pretty good, which is weird.
Well, Darren says...
Because earlier, he was getting clearly accused of being a killer, and he's just like... So is he that confident that he's not? Mm-hmm. Even if you were confident you were not, no, it's not you.
You could be railroaded.
I would still be kind of freaking.
But after Jamie says that Gwen is fine, Darren says, I'll make it up to her when it's all over.
Right.
It doesn't always work that way.
Right.
Yeah,
well, and then Jamie asks him point blank, are there any other skeletons? Because let's face it, Jamie might be fishing here.
Well, because it seems like the papers and everyone else know more than he does.
Right. Well, and he knows that he had contact with Rosie. I mean, he knows there might be something more. And he needs to know in order to do his job. And Darren just says there is nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Now,
that's comforting.
Is there nothing to worry about?
No. Oh, there's something to worry about. But it's not, I don't think it's a murder, but it's something. He has something. And he shouldn't have hid it.
Right.
From day one, he should have just said what it was.
Right. Once again, problem with everybody here.
Yeah.
Now, Sarah.
Yes.
This is actually my favorite part of this episode.
Okay.
Is watching Sarah do her detective thing.
Yes.
That is my favorite thing. And, I mean, this episode was just full of so many really cool things going on, and, like, flipping over cards, but not really. And, I thought this was a well-done episode.
It progressed the investigation a lot.
Yeah. And this, where she's out in the woods, when they go to the gas station and she figures out about the back and Holder is doing his thing, this is where you see them being detectives.
Yes.
And, on a lot of shows, you don't get that. When you see them being detectives, it's more like posing, and this is more real. Mm-hmm. And the fact that she does have this ability to go out there and kind of see it and say what she does. And she says, she's looking through the woods here, and she spots tracks. Mm-hmm. And she knows Rosie was here.
Yeah.
To me, that was really cool, because I don't know if you've ever been with anybody. Well, you have. You were a Girl Scout. People that can actually see tracks in that, they can do what she did. Mm-hmm. So to me, that was really believable. Like, I see it. I can't see anything. And people are like, well, clearly a person walked here and an animal walked here and this. And they're right. Mm-hmm. They know what's going on. Well, Sarah knows how to track.
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
So she tells Holder to get the canine unit over there.
Over there. They're looking in the wrong spot.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Stan pulls up to the house he bought.
Right.
And he's in the backyard looking at the swing set.
Oh, and there's that swing slowly moving in the rain. It is so sad.
Yeah.
And I am so tired of the rain. Mm-hmm. And why don't they move out of Seattle? Even though Seattle's cool and everything. I really
don't think it rains that much.
It's raining so much.
I don't think it pours. Like, there, it's just always pouring.
Stop. I mean, what's it been? 13 days? And I think we've had,
5 minutes.
5 minutes here and there of not rain.
But or drizzle.
It's just
this is just more downpour. It's almost always downpour.
But of course the swing is slowly moving, so it's just like, you know what, we're going to twist the knife here.
Yeah,
that's awful.
So the detectives found Rosie's shoe,
Right.
And, Sarah's upset.
Well, it's night. They've been out there a long time.
Sarah's upset because the killer, whoever was hunting her, cut her off and she ran into the woods. If she had just turned right, she would have run into a neighborhood and she would have lived.
She would have lived, yeah. She's really upset.
I have the chills right now, just at the thought of that.
Right, it's that simple.
Yeah.
And she's just really upset by this. And, I found that to be a very upsetting thought.
Yeah.
Once again, not something you usually see in these things. Usually it's all about the investigation and not about the human aspect, which is a simple decision. A simple turn would have changed everything.
Absolutely.
Everything that we've seen up till now would have changed if she had just gone the other direction.
Yeah.
Oh.
So sad.
Yeah. So Sarah, once again, upset. She goes to Darren's.
Yes.
And she confronts him. She is really accusing.
Mm-hmm.
And Darren starts to lose it. And he yells at her, the things I have had to do.
What
is he talking about there? Now, is he, once again, we're assuming he didn't kill Rosie at this point, or at least that's where we're getting led. But him saying that, he could be talking about killing Rosie. He could be talking about something. Maybe he goes out and kills hookers.
Well, and
maybe like, I'm cleaning up the city by killing hookers.
He yells at her that because of them smearing his name, the things he's had to do. What I think he means is he's had to do brutal campaigns and things like that. He has had to do unpleasant things, but he couldn't run the campaign.
But it sure sounds awfully guilty when he says it.
Yes. Darren says, he yells at her that because of them smearing his name, the things he's had to do.
Right.
And Sarah says, what? Like, what have you had to do? And he says, I've done nothing. And then Gwen,
he said he did more than that. He said, I did nothing to that girl. And Gwen is there when he says
Gwen
this.
is listening.
And she's listening.
Yeah.
And Sarah doesn't know that Gwen is there.
Right.
So that was
very interesting.
Very interesting. But yeah, he didn't just say, I've done nothing.
I only wrote, I've done nothing.
I've done nothing to that girl. That is more telling.
Very telling. Yeah, way to
But he says it in like an angry way, like he's offended that they're accusing him of this. But everything's kind of pointing that way.
Pointing there.
Even though, once again,
it all pointed that way to Bennett too, though, and it wasn't Bennett. So.
Right. It's like he's getting railroaded, but at the same time, just open your mouth about whatever it is, And that's really what it's coming down to at this point.
Yeah. So now Sarah's in her car outside, and she sees Gwen.
Right.
Not that she'd be in her car out inside. right. She's in her car outside his building.
But she's very upset because she's had this confrontation.
She's rattled.
Yes.
And she sees Gwen, and so she goes over and talks to her, and he said, Gwen says, he said he needed to get away from the campaign just for a night. He got out of bed and left. I waited for hours. It was close to morning when he came back, and he was soaking wet, like he'd been in the water.
Yes.
And she hands Sarah a disc. So she completely kills his alibi, because she was his alibi.
Right.
And
she was his alibi.
And that she lied.
Well, and she's questioning this.
Yeah.
It's not just that she's upset about this affair stuff, and she's questioning. She is now, when he said, I did nothing to that girl, remember, she had that DVD, which is what she just gave Sarah, of him at the rally, putting him with Rosie.
Right.
So this is getting really bad for Darren.
Exactly. And so Darren is at the rally, and Sarah is at work, and she shows her boss the disc of Darren meeting Rosie 6 months before her death. Camera footage of Darren in his car that night in the area, and the car matches the campaign car that Rosie was found in.
Oh my
So
gosh.
now, they are really building a case against this guy.
And Darren is alone in the car. So she's in the trunk. He's alone in the car, she's in the trunk. This is getting really bad.
Yeah.
But we know it's that car. Now you have a picture of him driving at the toll booth, and he's alone in the car, which implies very much that she's in that trunk.
Yeah.
What would be interesting is, where is that toll booth? Is it before that gas station or after that gas station? Because maybe she's not in the trunk.
Maybe she had run away already.
Right. Although that doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. So it's not adding up.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
But they're building a case.
They're definitely building a case. But now that I'm thinking about it, something doesn't add up there.
But we know at the end of the episode.
Right.
So Sarah
But literally it just hit me like there's something wrong right there, which I didn't notice when I was watching the show.
Right. So Sarah goes to the rally and puts him under arrest in front of everyone.
Oh.
And he's getting...
This is exactly what they were talking about before. Like, doing this to a politician in the middle of a campaign is detrimental.
Right. And they're doing it at the rally. They're not waiting till the rally's over. They're not... Right. Although they wouldn't wait for anybody else. If they were at work, they'd go to wherever they were working. Right. So... and he's getting processed. Darren's getting processed, and she leaves Holder with all the paperwork. She's heinous to him.
Yeah,
she's heinous to him.
Right. And she tells him
it'll be love her any less.
She tells him that he'll be a passable detective.
Yeah. Oh, so funny.
He has been the key in a lot of ways.
He really has.
And she just throws him a bone there.
Yeah.
Oh, he'll be passable.
So Stan comes home to find Mitch sitting alone. Her bag is packed. She says, the way I've been feeling, it's not good for the boys. They don't need me.
Well, I thought it was Stan's bag. Because in my notes here, I'm like, Mitch is sitting there with Stan's bag packed for him. So I'm thinking he's walking in and she's like, get out. You need to go away. But no, it's her bag.
And I didn't write Stan's. I wrote her bag.
I wrote, actually, no, it's her bag.
Right. But I knew from the beginning. I just wanted to point that out.
Okay. Well, you'll make a passable detective.
Because I could clearly see that. That's a chick's bag.
Right. It is?
No, I don't know. I didn't.
Okay, I was going to say, I thought it was just a bag.
But that's why she was watching them with Terry at the beach.
Right, to see the boys don't need her. And she says, the boys don't need me anymore.
They're better off without me. I'm negative. I bring them down. I'm not okay. I'm not okay.
Right.
And what's the point of me even being here? They don't need me.
Even though, they've lost their sister and now their mom is walking out on them. That doesn't...
great. Way to go,
Dad's
lady.
been in prison. And no, that's right, Mitch.
Yeah, you just go and take your little vacation.
Yeah.
I'm going to punch her in the face. She said, every piece of this place hurts me.
Right. And Stan says he needs her, and they hug.
But of course, every place, it hurts them too. So move. You've got a house.
Right. And, well, not just that. It's like,
you got a house that Stan won't tell you about, but you've got a house.
I get it about this. I get where she's coming from and everything, but it's like, once again, here's another character not verbalizing it early enough. Here's a solution. You need to get away for a few days. Go away for a few days. We'll handle things here. We all need to grieve. We all need to do our thing. But she's not saying that. She's saying, I'm going to disappear. I'm gone.
Well, and I don't...
That's the impression I got.
I don't understand my grief is more important than anybody else's grief.
Well, yeah, but when it reaches this level...
Because where are the boys? The boys don't ever have feelings. Stan has to still get up and go to work and go to prison and do his thing and you just kind of go, yeah, it
selfish
and we're all hurting, but you don't have the luxury of being able to go shut down.
I do understand because everybody reacts differently to these things. This is how she's reacting.
She's the mother.
I agree. I
hold her to a higher standard.
Oh, Mother Superior.
I do.
I'm sure.
I hold her to a higher... You don't have the luxury. It's good to know that I can
get away with more things because I'm the dad. That's awesome.
I think that there needs to be balance. Everybody is hurting. And today is, today's your day to, you can have it a little worse today.
You're going to be down.
But tomorrow I get tomorrow or whatever.
Right.
But she doesn't.
She could have gone away for the weekend.
Everything is all about her. She's extremely, extremely selfish.
Yeah. She could say, while you were in prison, it's all been sitting on me. I need to go away for a weekend.
But nothing's been sitting on her. It's been sitting on Terry.
Right. It's been sitting on Terry. I agree.
She's not doing anything. If I could see that she was actually functioning in any way.
And then Terry.
She's not doing anything.
As we saw in the last episode.
Is a train wreck.
And is somehow involved in this. It's like.
Right.
She's got to be a whirlwind of pain and freaking out and everything too. All right, Mitch.
So this is kind of what I'm saying here. Is right.
You know what? I'm going to tell Mitch one thing right now. Stop it.
Yes, exactly.
See? I solved everything.
So, Belko...
Belko!
Gosh, help me get through this scene. Okay, he's with his mom.
No.
She's bathing right in front of him with the door.
Yeah, and Belko
Could you imagine?
There. Oh,
Rob.
Belko is sitting there cleaning his gun, and it's not a euphemism.
This is kind of like your family if your dad wasn't around.
Oh, my mom would be bathing.
You and your mom, and she'd have some boundary issues.
Yeah, I'd be cleaning my gun.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have gotten to this point. There'd be more killings.
Yeah, you would have.
So
you would have been loading the gun years before.
Oh yeah.
And she's yelling for her towel. Okay, lady. Really? He has to walk in the bathroom and get you a towel?
And as he's cleaning his gun...
And it's not a bubble bath hiding anything.
No.
I mean, this is just some plain water.
There's news about Richmond on the TV.
Mm-hmm.
There's the news about him getting arrested and the rally and all that stuff. And Belko's watching this as his mom is bellowing for Belko. That's my new show, Bellowing for Belko. We should have named the podcast that. But she's bellowing for her towel. This is not good. This is reminding me of Taxi Driver. Like, everything's kind of crashing in on this guy, and here he is, cleaning the gun. Something's going to happen here.
Yeah, there's no way this is ending well.
No. So, now we're getting to that point where things are kind of moving quickly here. Sarah is getting ready to leave. And
she adjusts Rosie's picture on the board.
I was going to say, she looks at Rosie's pic as she's walking out and kind of adjusting.
And she turns off the light.
Right, and for her, she
closes the door.
She's having her closure.
Yeah, and then so it's like she's closing the door on the case. And then she and Jack are at the airport. He's upset that they're going because he doesn't want to leave his dad without telling him.
And she's like, look, we're leaving.
Yeah, another one.
Yeah.
Where it's like the mother's in this show. It's like, really? Can you, for 5 seconds, not be narcissistic?
And once again, she let the dad back in.
Right.
And now she's shutting the door on the dad. And you're just playing with Jack and you're playing with him. And is that her intention? No. She's thinking she's doing the right thing. She's not.
No.
There's got to be some communication and some thought to this stuff. For a woman who's got so much critical thinking, boy, she does not do it with the emotional life.
No. But I think because of her background.
Right.
I think that, she was.
It makes sense. Really, I'm not saying that this is not how it would happen. This is how.
Oh, yeah. It's all very real, but that's why it's probably more upsetting than normal, because you just go, no, I want this to be wrapped up in a nice little bow. Yeah. I don't want them to be human.
Yeah, and it's not going to be.
No way. So Terry and the kids come home, and she asks Stan if he heard the news about Darren. And she looks around, she says, "Where's Mitch?" And Stan tells Terry that she left.
Right. Yeah.
Not that she had to go away for a few days.
No, that she left.
She left.
Yeah. So Terry's really happy about that. That's great. That's really awesome. Mm-hmm. And as if enough isn't sitting on Terry through all this, too. Jack and Sarah are sitting on the plane.
Yeah.
And her phone rings.
Yeah. Oh, this was just a bomb right here.
Someone tells her that photo from the toll booth was fake.
There were no toll booth surveillance shots that night.
The toll booth was broken.
Because the cameras were out.
Yes.
The cameras were broken, and he doesn't say your toll booth surveillance shots are fake. She just knows it.
She knows it immediately.
He just says, "Oh, sorry, we have the results. There were no cameras functioning
as soon as he said it, we knew it. She knows it. Something's wrong. Her whole resolution to this case is flawed. And that's not how Sarah does things.
And then a bigger bomb.
She jumped to conclusions.
Bigger bomb.
Yes.
Holder gets into a car with someone and says, "The photo worked. He's going down." Holder, corrupt?
Yeah. What? Now, how is he in the rest of the series and going to be a partner of hers? Because I know he's in the third season and second season.
But this sounds corrupt.
It sure sounds corrupt.
I'm very upset.
Yeah, he's saying the photo worked. He's going down. Did he?
Why is he framing Darren?
It makes no sense. This makes no sense. So Darren and Gwen share a look as he's getting hauled off. So he's been arrested. They share a look. I don't know if he's thinking, what did you do? if he's thinking, I didn't do this, just bear with me here. If she's thinking, what did I do?
Yeah.
But it was an interesting look between the two. And it was, it was, once again, very confusing what's going on. And not in a bad way on our part. It's just confusing. There's just a lot of emotions and a lot of things going on. And speaking of emotions, in comes Belko.
Belko.
Da, 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 da.
He's about to shoot
It's Belko.
Darren.
Yes. He's clearly there to shoot Darren. Now we're in that part. I mean, it's going fast. It's like 5 seconds. Boom. Sarah can't leave.
Why isn't she off the plane yet?
But she's sitting there looking like, you can tell she's going, what do I do? I can't leave. This is all wrong. This is mucked up. And
but she has to get off the plane.
And then we see Belko pull a gun on Richmond. And it cuts to black. End of the first season.
Oh, I cannot wait to get to 2. Cannot wait to get to 2.
What do you think happens in 2? Do you think that Belko shoots him?
Yes.
You think Belko shoots him?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think Sarah... Well, Sarah has to get off the plane.
She's got to get off the plane. Otherwise, there's no show.
Okay.
Because she can't do it from California, wherever the heck they're in California.
She has to know that Holder is involved in this. Now, do you think Holder is involved in this, or do you think... I mean, he said the photo worked, but there's 2 ways to look at that. One is that he knew that this was a fake photo, and he took that option because he so fully believed that Darren was guilty that this was going to clinch it. Or there is the possibility that the guy in the car gave him the photo and, like, hey, I gave it to you early. I went through my channels, and it worked. And that's what he's saying. So I don't know. There is a chance that it's so fishy.
Weird phrasing. The photo worked. He's going down. How would a photo work unless it was doctored or a trick of some sort or a scam?
It's very fishy.
So why is Holder being corrupt?
Now,
it's very
I'm not sure about this, but I think the guy in the car was his sponsor. The guy,
the one who's been in the car the other time?
Yes. I think that's who it was.
I didn't know.
And I think he's kind of mentoring
to be corrupt?
Oh, that's what I'm wondering. And see, that goes back to the thing I was saying. Holder trusts him, so maybe he doesn't know it's a fake. Maybe he's trusting this guy that he went through his channels and got him the photo, and it worked. I don't know. This left with big questions. Now, here's what's really interesting about this. For people that were watching this as it was happening, a lot of people were upset by this episode because you didn't know definitively who did it. They've been leading you on. The whole episode's going on. You are convinced it's Darren. I mean, they were really pushing you that way. And then in the last second, there's doubt. Is it Darren? Is it someone else?
Yeah. And who else? They don't have any other suspect.
Now, this is the beauty of services like Netflix and Hulu. I mean, we're watching it on Netflix. What's beautiful about this is we can go right into season 2.
Right.
We can jump right in and see what happens.
And we're gonna.
Oh, we're gonna. Because you can't go to a cliffhanger like this and wait a year.
No.
Almost a year. I mean, you would have had to wait, if they did it on a regular schedule, 10 months before you could see what happened.
Rosie Larson.
Who killed Rosie Larson? And is Darren dead? Is Belko dead?
Yeah.
I mean, what happens there?
I need immediate gratification.
Is Sarah getting off that plane? Is Holder dirty? I mean, there's so many questions.
Well, I'm very
And what
upset
about the police chief? And what about... I mean, there's all sorts of things going on. And what about the aggressive kisser?
No, I don't care about him.
No, I think he's out of the picture. I think I think she's going to get off the plane, and that ends any chance of that aggressive kisser resurfacing.
Well, I've thought that a couple times, but he keeps coming back.
Yeah, but I think this is it.
Like a bad penny.
I think this is it. I really do.
All right, well, let's get on to season 2.
That's it. End of season 1. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. You can hear past episodes of this on our website. Go to www.southgatemediagroup.com to check those out. Please follow us on iTunes. Subscribe. Get your friends to subscribe. Go to people's houses. Just subscribe them. They'll never know. It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps us out. And put 5 stars on there if you would, if you like the show. I know I encourage 5 stars. And give us reviews, too. It really, really helps us. as we march our way to Netflix's Season 4 of The Killing. Next time you hear us, we'll be talking Season 2. That's it. For The Killing Podcast, I'm Rob Southgate.
And I'm Martha Southgate.
And maybe next season we'll find out, we better, who did definitively kill Rosie Larson.
And that boulder is not corrupt.
Please don't let it be. If you would like to donate to help pay for this and other Southgate Media Group podcasts, simply go to our website, southgatemediagroup.com, and click on the donate button. It can be as little as $1 or, well, as much as you want. Help keep this fun going by supporting this and our other shows. Thanks again for listening, everyone. You're the best fans in the world.